Greetings, fellow mouth breathers. It's your boy CTB, and we're back. And let's get into what this video is honestly about, and that is the problem with modern beatboxing. As someone that's been in the scene for over a decade now, I've been beatboxing for over 13 years. I've seen a lot of people come into the scene, and the scene has grown in a way that's honestly really beautiful to watch. There's so many more people, there's so many more styles, and more people have found this amazing art form, and it allows them to express themselves in a way that I'm just glad they're able to do. It's great to find a way to increase exactly what your voice can say, and I'm really glad that the beatbox scene has become what it is today. But it comes with some setbacks. Over the last few years, beatboxing has really become something more of like a competitive sport. It reminds me of a mixture between battle rap and even esports in some weird way. And because of that, people figure out, okay, these are the most popular sounds. These are the sounds that the people that are winning battles are using. So they grind all these sounds out. And what's happening now is we're getting a lot of people that are becoming what are starting to be known as sound banks. Now, having a lot of sounds is not necessarily a bad thing. I want to make that very clear. The more sounds you have, the more possibilities you have to make something cool. But the problem with sound banks as they exist today for the most part is most people that grind these trendier sounds, they don't know how to use them. And it's not that they don't know how to use them because they're ignorant or whatever. They don't know how to use them because they typically rushed their process. They typically learned these things through watching these other beatboxers, and they haven't really taken time to really use the sounds in their own ways. So when they do use it, it comes out sounding exactly like an inertia, or they use their zippers it sounds exactly like Dillop, or their inward bass sounds exactly like Article or Vocoder, I should say. It's unfortunate. Even people's drill beats, almost every drill beat now for some unknown reason sounds like River's drill beat, when drill as a genre of music has so much to offer, and if done right can be really refreshing. So even the way people execute their beats and the way people execute their sounds is becoming very cookie cutter. So we have a bunch of people in the scene now that they can string all these sounds together, but every time they insert a sound, it's being used exactly in the same way as somebody else. And there's no real inventiveness to the use. It's just, let me throw in as many sounds in this minute 30 as possible and I'll win. The problem isn't just that they tend to struggle with originality. The problem is also the actual quality of the sounds tends to be quite lacking. So typically somebody stringing a lot of sounds together can actually be very impressive when those sounds are executed well and in a refreshing way. But the issue is a lot of the time it's sloppy. They're not really hitting very well because they rush to learn all these cool sound effects and whatnot, but their fundamentals are really terrible. If I'm being perfectly honest, a lot of people, they have really, really terrible fundamentals now in the beatbox scene. It is stunning how terrible the percussion, the drum sounds, the flow, the ability to even do a drum with the sound effect or bass or whatever that you're trying to layer on top. It is absolutely astounding how not good a lot of people's fundamentals are. And because of that, the cool sound you're trying to do doesn't hit. It doesn't sound good as a listener because the kick that's underlying it is garbage. I'm sorry, but it just is what it is. People aren't training their fundamentals because right now beatboxing is like this rat race to see who can do all the trendy sounds, all the cool sounds. It's lacking actual expression that comes from a genuine place of wanting to say something. Because it's gotten so competitive, people genuinely have this esports kind of mentality of what's the meta, what are the most effective tactics available. It went from a super technical meta to the inward bass meta, and there was a touch of a vibration based meta for a bit. And then now it's the sound bank meta. It really is the sound bank meta. How many sounds can you fit within a minute 30? And so many people are trying to hit that mark, and a lot of times it isn't delivering. So how do we fix that? Now, this goes back to what I said at the beginning of the video, that having a lot of sounds is not a bad thing. I'm somebody that is known for having a lot of sounds, but my sounds aren't just all the trendy sounds. There's plenty of trendy sounds I don't know how to do. You don't want to hear me try and do double voice. You don't want to hear me try and use po in a beat. I can use it, but I hardly ever do. My inward bass is terrible. I am not your typical beatboxer when it comes to my technical and fast beats. There's a lot of things in my sound set that I do that most people do not do. And the reason why is because I don't listen to a lot of beatboxers. I don't listen to a lot of beatboxing. I figure out what I like and I stack that. That's what people need to do. A lot of your favorite beatboxers, they figured out what they liked and they figured out how to stack it after making each piece high quality. Each section of what they do is high quality because they grinded it out and they refined the rough edges. They didn't just rush into all those sounds, learn them to only a certain level of proficiency, and then start making dope beats. That's not what happened. It took time. They took a lot of self-discovery, not just running after whatever golden carrot is hanging in front of the scene right now. That's how you fix the sound bank problem. If you are a beatboxer that has a bunch of sounds, but you never win battles, no one ever cares about your beats or whatever, it's probably because you sound like somebody else, your beats aren't clean, and it just sounds jumbled up. Do what you actually enjoy, not what you think will get you wins. When you do that, you're going to start slowly sounding more and more original, more and more like you, and you're going to end up putting out what you actually have to give, instead of just trying to muscle your way to the top and win battles. Once that starts to happen in the scene, I think we're really going to get the true level up. And I think right now we're in the beginning stages, where there's a few people that have figured it out and how to string a bunch of the sounds within their style together. And then there's a bunch of people that are trying to run as quickly as they can to gather a bunch of sounds and then throw them together in a blender. Take your time. Your favorite beatboxers did not get there overnight. Most of them, it's taken them years. It's not going to happen overnight for you either. You have to take your time. When you learn a sound, make it sound good before you try to move on to the next sound. Make sure your fundamentals are solid so when you do the sound, it hits. And at the end of the day, stop listening to so many beatboxers. I understand it's cool. I understand you love it. I love it. But you will be subconsciously influenced by these other beatboxers, and your sound will become more and more unoriginal, and it will be less fresh. Even subconsciously, you might think you're being original, but you're really not. And it's coming out because you've just been absorbing other people's expressions. What comes out of you is typically a reflection of what you take in. So be very, very mindful of what you take in, so that what comes out is actually what you want to come out, and that is received well by people. You guys can do it. It takes time. Have patience. You'll get there one day. I'm still trying to get there myself. If you enjoyed this and you think that sound banking isn't a problem, let me know. If you think it is a problem, let me know. If there's any topics that you want me to discuss in future videos, leave them down below, and I will see you guys when I see you guys. Peace.